How do you show up when you simply don't want to? You have to, you don't want to. Well, that's why I have Amie here today. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, why this topic matters to her, and why it should matter to you. Amie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Shauna. Thanks for having me on.
We're
I,
so lucky to have you.
I'm happy to be here. I'm Amie Sponza, and I am a heartfelt coach. And I really, as an actor as well as a coach, I know what it's like to have to be on. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes, yeah, sometimes you don't feel ready. Sometimes you feel like, you rather pull the covers over your head, but we all have to show up from time to time, even when we don't want to. And sometimes you just have to take that deep cleansing breath and put yourself in a place where you've already done it. It's over. And how you're going to feel after you've already done it. And you feel like, wow, that was easier than I thought it was. And you put yourself in that headspace and then kind of reverse engineer. Sometimes that'll do it.
It,
And yeah,
it sounds
yeah,
so simple, right? It sounds so simple. And yet we know very well it is easier said than done. In fact,
yes,
you reminded me of, it won't be news to many of our viewers. I'm a pretty big Jason Mraz fan, and I go to see his concerts as often as I can. And he frequently takes a pause out on
hmm,
stage and says, "All right, everybody, I think it's time for us to take another breath."
yeah,
And he will do breaths. He'll do anywhere between 1 and 3 breaths up on stage. And I think to myself,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Like, that's it.
Breathing,
Who knows? Who knows how much stage fright he has, whether he's having a good day or not? He's got to show up. This is his livelihood. And for a lot of our viewers, showing up as a part of their marketing
yeah,
leads to the buildup of their livelihood. This
yeah,
leads to leads, to conversion, to
right.
sales, to actually having the life that they aspire to.
Hmm.
So to just sit there and be like, I don't
Yeah, oh
want
yeah,
to.
oh
You
yeah,
can't do that. So I can imagine, as an actor,
yeah,
you've had that same kind of feeling. And we can say breathing all we want.
yeah.
What else? Because there's got to be something else. There's got to be
Yeah, well,
something
there's
stickier.
there's practice, certainly there's practice, and there's also the idea that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you just if you just start, sometimes the next step appears. And it feels like sometimes it feels like it's so much, when you're especially when you're trying to promote your
Mm.
business. And you have all of these choices in front of you, all the ways that you could market your business. And you feel like, oh my God, which one do I pick? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And sometimes you just, I don't know, spin the dial, put all of the choices in a hat and pull one out and say, all right, this is the one I'm doing today. And just go for it. And know that showing up is is the first step. And even if you're not ready, you just show up, keep going, because the only failure is quitting, right? Giving up on yourself. And that's not to say that you have to should on yourself, because we're always shoulding on ourselves, right?
Yes.
I should do this, I should do that. And then you have this terrible weight. So gamify it. Make it a fun game. Like, let's see how I could play with this. How can I make this fun for myself? Um, and maybe enlist a partner, a friend to bounce ideas off of. I mean, there are all sorts of ways to go about it, but I feel like just taking a step in the direction of where you want to go, sometimes the next step just appears. And as soon as you get the ball rolling, it gets easier. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Don't you find that?
Momentum is a real thing. And
It is.
it's not just a real thing when it comes to Indiana Jones's boulder, okay? This is like every step
Yeah.
is momentum. It builds momentum. And I
Yeah.
want to go back to something that you had said about picking the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I want to go back to that is because you're not wrong. And if you've picked the thing that you're going to do, because many people will come to me and say, well, this is the thing I said I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
This can be a slippery slope of shooting all over yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because even though you've picked it doesn't mean you're married or chained to it. You're
Yes.
allowed to change your mind. You're
Absolutely.
allowed to decide, this doesn't fit me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I've outgrown this, or this never fit me to begin with. I was doing this because I was told to do this.
Yeah.
And we can play in this. I feel like it's just an exploration of what you had just said, that you can play, you can gamify it, you can make it more fun for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When I was feeling really nervous about showing up on camera
Mm-hmm.
quite a few years ago now, um, the thing that I wanted to do was just to shock my system.
Yeah.
I just said, okay, look, I know it's not that bad cognitively,
Mm-hmm.
but I can feel the nerves.
Yes.
So, what would be one of the scariest things I could possibly do, and share it across the internet? So, I grabbed my ukulele and I sang a song
Oh, that's
live,
adorable. That's
and it
great.
was so scary because, like, I'm no singer. I'm like, I have the singing voice of like lullabies to my kids, not like standing on stage to an audience, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
I just sang, and it was scary, and I screwed up, and it wasn't perfect. And that kind of made it perfect. And then showing up just to talk felt a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. And let it be natural, authentic, and genuinely you. And then you can't go wrong because if you're trying to be something you're not. I mean, it's one thing to be an actor and put on a
Mm.
persona of someone else and you're playing a character who is you're coming from a genuine place as that character. And if that helps you to get over the nerves, is to not be you, to let's put on the hat of the marketing
Mm.
guru, or let's put on the hat of the life coach and embody the characteristics of the successful coach or guru that you want to be. Who are you when you are your most powerful and most successful? And take a powerful pose, I am power, I am whatever you have, and just embody those characteristics.
I love
And
that you said that, actually, because one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, because you mentioned being authentic. And if I'm authentically feeling really down in the dumps,
mm-hmm,
how do I show up as that when I'm sitting there and I'm,
yeah,
ugh, everything's pooey? You make a really great point, and it is just that, okay, I acknowledge that everything's pooey today.
yes,
And the me who I want to be, who I am at my innermost self when it comes to my biggest aspirations and goals,
mm-hmm,
needs to come out then.
right,
That's when I call on her. And that's when you mentioned briefly this visualization.
yeah,
Where's this lying?
yeah, the power of vision.
Mhm.
When uh when you can really visualize where you want to where if you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there, right? But if you know where you want to go, you want to um, impact the world in a certain way, and you want to genuinely give of yourself and be of service and generate an income for yourself in a way that feels good to you. So I encourage my clients to pick a moment in time. And sometimes I say, well, let's look at 3 years from now, because your brain can't really argue with 3 years from now. You don't, anything is possible 3 years from now. A year from now, your subconscious might say, you know what? You didn't do it last year. What makes you think you're going to do it this year? But three
Right.
years out, okay.
Fair.
So you put yourself in a time machine, or you give yourself a magic wand and you say, oh, I am so happy and grateful now that it's all worked out and I have this amazing life in my health, in my relationships, in my vocation in the world, in my time and money freedom. All the quadrants of my life are in harmony. I'm loving my life. And you five sensorize it. How does it feel? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What is there an aroma in the air? Are you tasting something? Who are you with? And you just imagine, say you're a speaker who has to get up on stage. You imagine yourself that successful speaker who is in front of a stadium full of people, or maybe it's not a stadium. Maybe it's a group of 25 people in your living room. I don't know. Whatever it is that your goal is, you imagine yourself so comfortable and at ease, delivering whatever it is, the message that you want to deliver. And you just feel that. And when you do, your brain doesn't know the difference. Sort of like um, excitement and fear are essentially the same thing, right? You get on the roller coaster ride and it's exciting and it's scary at the same time.
It sure is.
You watch a scary movie and your physiology, your heart starts beating faster if you're afraid of what's going to happen next on the screen. I'm seeing these clips for Alien Romulus and I'm
Oh,
like, oh, no, I can't go there.
oh
And,
boy.
and so your body doesn't know the difference. And
Yeah.
it's the same with visualizing your success. And it's why athletes, we just saw the Olympics, right? All those athletes have coaches who are helping them to visualize winning, you know, coming across the finish line first, throwing the farthest, swimming the fastest, running the fastest, performing at your best and wearing that gold medal.
So I'm curious then, how I've always been wondering about this because I hear this a lot, this visualization, this idea of putting yourself into your winning circle.
Yeah.
And, I'll do it because I get all
Mhm.
amped up because I talk to someone like you and, yes, you've got me jazzed. I'm ready to do this. Let's go. And then I don't do it. Like, I
Mhm.
do it and then I don't. So,
Mhm.
so would you suggest, I feel like I'm asking a doctor, what would your prescription be for how often and how intensely one should do this visualization?
Well, when you're retraining your brain, you're rewiring it to tell a new story. I recommend that you do it as often as possible. I have things up on my bathroom mirror, so I'm brushing my teeth and getting ready in the morning. There it is, reminding me my travel size vision. And at the end of the day, again, and if I'm in and out of the bathroom, or some people will put little reminders in their car or on the refrigerator. Um, or have a touchstone in your pocket, whatever, something that reminds you that what you're dreaming of, what you're visualizing is possible. And that's why I feel like having a coach when you are kind of retraining your brain is a good thing. And it's the same with athletes and
Mhm.
with business owners who are trying to make that leap. Having a structure of support and a partner in believing. I like to call myself a partner in believing because I believe that each one of us is our own expert. We already know the answer, but if we could do it on our own, we would have done it already.
I love that. Partner in, I'm writing it down.
Yeah,
Partner in believing. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. And it's scary because
Oh,
I mean, fear is part of life. And I say befriending our fear because we're never going to. It's sort of like inside out, right? You have all those things in your brain, and fear is
yeah. Have you seen Inside Out 2 yet?
not. No, but
Oh, it's
I
good.
heard it's good.
It's good.
So, so fear can come along for the ride. It's going to. It's
Mhm.
going to try to keep you safe, keep you in the status quo, but it can't be in the driver's seat, right? You
Not
said
permanently.
No, you say, all right, I hear you. I know you're trying to keep me safe. I get it. But I am going to take this leap of faith. I am going to take this step. You can come, but you can't be driving.
Yeah,
You can come along
absolutely.
and try to keep me safe. And I'm going to comfort you and tell you it's okay. I've got you. It's going to be okay. And keep going.
You definitely want to see Inside Out too. Because this is like perfectly in alignment. If anyone viewing this right now has not seen Inside Out 2 and wants to know what it would look like to have the wrong, I don't want to say the wrong emotion, but to have one emotion in the driver's seat for too long,
Yeah.
and especially emotion like fear or anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
that's the movie to look at.
Yeah.
Perspective right there. Now,
Yeah.
I want to rewind just a moment because you said something that I thought was really interesting, especially as someone who's on the go. As a business owner, I've always got something to do. And never mind the fact that I'm also a mom, I'm also a wife, I
Mm-hmm.
also support people in volunteer work. I'm constantly moving. You said travel-sized vision.
Yes.
And I went, wait, hold on, pause. I need this. I need. Oh,
A
I thought, and
travel.
you said something about a stone. I'm holding citrine right now because
Yes.
it's my birthstone and resonates with the throat chakra, a number of other things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this, I can carry this vision around. This
Yes.
beautiful little rock.
Yeah.
How do I make a travel sized vision that is as in depth as what you described with the 3-year process, five
Mm-hmm.
sensorizing it, which I
Mm-hmm.
love that, by the way. I'm stealing it. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And like to be as immersive as possible, but travel sized.
Yes. So once you have the big vision of everything that you want, then you condense it down to one short sentence that includes all of the main things that you want to cover. So, for example, I am so happy and grateful now that I have vibrant health in my body, mind, and spirit. I am loving my in my relationships and you know, whatever it is, a reciprocal partnership with whoever. Um, i am i am so happy in my vocation that I am giving, whatever your vocation is, that I feel happy and grateful to get up in the morning and do my work in the world, and I am financially free and able to contribute to my life in a way that feels good to me. Something that you can say fairly easily that covers all the main bases that you want in your life.
So here's a thought. Because I don't claim to be a life coach. I don't claim to be a visionary, somebody who can tap into these visions. Um, However, as a marketer and a brand messaging
Mm-hmm.
strategist, this is what I'm thinking. You totally tapped into this world. When I'm working with people on their messaging, oftentimes and on their brand identity and their marketing strategy, we're looking at what is your objective, what are your overarching goals, and they're
Yeah.
usually pretty like heavy. They're beefy, which
Yeah.
is beautiful, and you need it to be so that you can have a really clear view of what are you actually doing. You
Yeah.
have a view of, if we're looking at marketing strategy, you have a view of the KPIs. What are you actually measuring? How,
Mm-hmm.
like, where are you going? How are you telling whether you get there? All that jazz, all the
Right.
sticky bits of your analytics. And then we break it down into SMART goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then we take those SMART goals. So we're taking this big hefty thing,
Yes.
teasing it out,
Yep.
and then taking just the bare minimum
Yeah. Baby
and
steps.
putting it into a one sentence, concise, uh, punch packing objective. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
that's what we put into your marketing strategy. And so I'm seeing this as we're sitting down, and you can correct me anytime, interject, correct me anytime. So we're sitting there and we're thinking 3 years down the line,
Yeah.
I see, I hear, I smell, I feel, I taste, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
and you can even go into the more than five senses, because intuition and all that
Yes.
jazz, however
Yep.
you're resonating, right?
Yep.
And you pour that out, and let's say you're journaling, you fill a damn notebook full, you can just word vomit all over it.
Yep.
Then you find key themes
Yes.
and you break them down and you organize these
Hmm.
thoughts. Then you reduce it
Yeah.
into that's the thing.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, I
And
like that.
here's
You
one
just
that I
gave me
like.
a project, Amie.
Here's one that I like to use that's pretty simple, and feel free to steal it because I've stolen it. I'm not even sure who said it first or whatever, but every day in every way, I am getting better and better.
I love that.
Yeah.
I might steal that for my kids if I'm
Yeah.
being perfectly honest. It's
Yes. Yeah, that's
beautiful.
great for kids.
Oh my
Every
gosh.
day in every way, I am getting better and better.
I actually have, before the summer started, I put up a few little mirrors in our
Mhm.
living area that are height oriented,
Yes.
depending on the height of my children.
Yeah.
And they have like little affirmations around it. I am strong, I can do hard things, all that sort of thing. But
Hmm.
I shouldn't say but. And I think I wouldn't mind actually using what you just said as like a banner that goes over top of all of them. So you don't need
Right.
to just pick. If all you want to do every day, I'm getting better and better.
Yes.
Like that's so great.
Yeah.
All right, call it done. Call it done. I love that. Now, on that note, and that's a pretty dang good note. I feel like that rings true.
Yeah.
I need to ask you, is there anything that we haven't touched on today that you are dying to share with the world? Because I invite you to do that right now as we say our final words and leave people with just the bits that they need.
Yeah. I think that when when you can get clarity is power. When you know what it is you really want and you can feel what it would be like to have it, that is your that's the best way to move forward, is to really get clear on what it is you want. Call that in to yourself and say it every day in every way. I'm getting better and closer to my dream of the life that I would love. Because in reality, most of us, we spend more time planning a weekend getaway than we do a life that we would love living. So if you are feeling this and you would like to have a free chat with me, you've got scan the code and give me a shout, and we'll set up a time where we can talk and figure out what your next steps might be.
Oh, that I'm just planning an anniversary getaway.
Yeah.
So you saying that, I spend more time planning my weekend getaway than I
Yeah.
do my actual objectives and goals in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hit me
Yeah.
where it hurts, Amie. Man. But that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we need. And I mean, I can't urge anyone strongly enough to book this call, because if we're not going to call ourselves out on our own BS, we need
Hmm.
somebody who's trustworthy, caring, and kind to do it for us. Somebody who's knowledgeable to guide us toward the results we want to see in our life, in our business.
Yeah.
This is a huge deal. So
Yeah.
I invite you to book that call. The links are also in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch every new episode that comes out, because we're having conversations just like this, talking about marketing, talking about you. Because remember, the first person you market to every single day is yourself. And we
Hmm.
want to make it good.